guys, Just here. So today guys, I got my K10 back in the shop. I got a couple things I wanted to show you guys today. First up, we got the CChand. This is a single exhaust. Figure that might add some cool detail to it. Next thing I got is the new Rc4wd drive. These are the spring-loaded hinges. It's always kind of been a big pet peeve of mine. These hinges are always kind of flapping around. The hood's falling down, so I'm hoping that these are, yeah, see, there it goes. So I'm hoping that these are going to solve that problem and allow us to kind of have it in any position. But yeah, so those I'm hoping are going to be really good. Next thing I got is the Holley Valve covers. I've wanted these for a long time. These ones are pretty cool, 3D printed, but I just figured these ones are going to look really good in this. So want to get those parts on. Before I do any of that, guys, I do have, this is our dually project. I haven't even done a video on this yet, but basically this is our old K10 dually with a Tonka body, and my plan is to 3D print a wedge back for it. But kind of thinking about the two trucks here, this one's got a metal body. It is quite heavy. This chassis has a lot more flex than this one. This one is quite rigid. So what I was thinking about doing was swapping the chassis. There's a few parts that I want to swap as well. So before we get into any of this stuff, I want to get the bodies off and start swapping these chassis around. Alright, so you can see the two chassis. They're very similar. They're both long wheelbase Rc4wd drive. This one here is a brand new K10 chassis. So this is the one that we're going to use with the red pickup, and this is the one we're going to use with the Tonka. So a couple things I want to get switched over: the CChand inner fenders, the fusion, the trailer hitch on the back, the wheels. So first thing I'm going to do is get this thing jacked up. We'll get the wheels off both chassis. I think I showed you guys these before. Got these off Amazon. These are really awesome. They hold up a crawler, no problem at all. So let's get the wheels off, and then we'll start tearing these down. So we're all cleaned up and ready to go, guys. First thing I want to get in there is the fusion. I'm really excited to have the fusion and the reefs together. So that's going to be awesome. Of course, our CChand inner fenders, we're going to get those on. I also pulled out my snow plow. It's almost getting time to get that rigged up. So we'll be working on this. I'm going to paint it, I think, and I'm going to add a little bit of 3D printed detail. Probably get a reef servo for in the plow as well. So stay tuned for that later, guys. All right, guys, so we got all that stuff switched over. I apologize for that. Definitely something I had to get done, and I figured why not film it. But now we're going to get open the exhaust pipe. Like I said, this is just the single exhaust. All right, so it's pretty nice. It's going to need paint, obviously. On the Rc4wd drive site, they kind of show it being mounted like that. I believe in those holes there. So I'm going to hit this with some primer, then probably just some aluminum, and then we'll weather it a little bit. Alright, guys, so I didn't have any silver, so I just opted for a light gunmetal. Looks pretty good. Now, I thought this was 3D printed, but it sounds almost metal. It actually looks pretty good. This truck is weathered, so I am going to put a little weathering. I'm just going to use a little black wash kind of in around the exhaust area, and then just kind of hit it with some rust streaks. And then what I'll do is let that dry and then just kind of wipe it off a little bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of weathering. Nothing too crazy. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so something like this, guys, I'm just going to give that a little bit of a wipe. So that's kind of what I'm going for. If I can get it to focus. Not perfect, but I think it looks pretty good. All right, so it does come with 2 included screws. We're gonna go here and here, so I'm gonna take this one out. All right, so just looking at this chassis, guys, really making me want to get a new set of wheels and tires, but I think we'll stick with these ones for now. We'll look at getting something in the future, but so I'm gonna go get the wheels on, and then we'll bring the body over and see how our exhaust looks. All right, so we got the body and wheels on there. You guys can see the exhaust there. Lots of dirt there, but yeah, you can see it looks good. Just adds that little bit of detail. I'm happy with it. But yeah, this is like a whole new truck, guys. Like, look at the flex we have now. So let's get this thing flipped around so we can work on our hinges and our valve covers. All right, so one of the things I was worried about was the stance, but I think it actually does look pretty good. I might add 1 or 2 lift blocks in there just to kind of lift it a little bit so we're not rubbing, but overall I think it looks really good. Of course, we got this is our Rc4 high trail build that we're doing, so stay tuned, guys. We got to finish that, but yeah, I love kind of having this is like my mud truck, and this is just my kind of everyday scale truck. So let's go ahead and get the hinges off here now. All right, so just where we get the hood off, what I want to do really quickly is just try on the cowl hood. This is the molded cowl hood by Rc4wd, guys. Look at that. That looks pretty awesome. It looks better on the mud truck, I think, but just had to try it. Let's take a look at the valve covers. I've been really getting excited to get these opened up here. All right, so these are really nice, guys. These are in cast metal. It's kind of hard to tell. The package was a little dusty and old, but yeah, it comes with the mounting hardware as well. Those are going to be really nice on this. So the next thing is these are super glued. So I need to try and get these off without kind of ruining the motor. So that's all right. So I was just poking around with like a flathead screwdriver, and look at that. You can see it's starting to lift in that corner, so that's going to be kind of easy, hopefully. Yeah. All right, well, that was way too easy, guys. So all right, so that's looking really good there, guys. So let's go ahead and get the body off so that we can install our hood hinges. Right, so the old hinges are out, and let's go ahead and get these opened up. Part number Z-S0157, and these are available on AMain, guys. So let's get these opened up. All right, so these are really nice, guys. I was hoping they were going to be kind of partially assembled. Does come with mounting hardware as well. So I'm looking at a picture on the Rc4wd website, so I'm thinking it's going to be something like this if it's mounted under the truck, and that of course will mount your hood. After a little trial and error, we got them on. Main thing to remember is you want the bigger part facing forward, like this. So now I'm just going to use a little included screws, and we'll get the hood mounted back up on there. All right, guys, so these are everything that I wanted them to be. You can basically set it at any height. It's pretty amazing. But we have a new problem now. The engine tray is not compatible with these, as you can see. So we're gonna have to cut this off. On the Rc4wd website, they say you can glue this tray in or add some screws. Don't really know if I want this glued, just because I want to be able to remove it. So I'm gonna cut those, and then we'll look at hiding maybe a couple screws in the corner on the firewall. All right, guys, so as you can see here, Rc4wd, they do recommend coming in 7mm. All right, guys, so you can see it's all trimmed. I really didn't want to glue this just in case I wanted to remove the interior or the grill. So I'll show you guys what I did. just kind of a temporary solution, but I think it will work. So I just opted for a little duct tape on there for right now until I decide. I really don't want to glue that, like I said, because you do need to access the screws for the interior through here. I mean, it is popped in here, so it's really just this part. I might end up putting a little bit of super glue just on here, just a tiny bit, but the tape seems to be holding. Plus it's going to be sitting on the inner fender, so until I can really figure out a better solution, I'm just going to go with some duct tape. All right, guys, well, I think we'll leave this one here. It's definitely a good day. We got lots done. Got our Holley Valve covers on there. They look great. Our Scale Spring Hinges, which are amazing. Of course, our exhaust. So definitely happy. And, you know, of course, we swapped the chassis. So this thing is like a brand new truck. Definitely can't wait to get it out. But I think we'll leave this one here for today. And, yeah, so just like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks.